It's Friday, April 16th, 8:05 in the morning, and we are here. What's up, guys? Good old morning to you. I hope you're having a good week. It's Friday. I haven't been here all week, and I know for a fact you missed me because you guys have been sending me messages on email, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook saying, what happened? Where did you go? Where did morning coffee go? It's right here. Let's get back in action with a little coffee cheers. Bam, for everyone in this world. Because it's a beautiful day to be alive and to play the guitar and drink coffee with some people on YouTube. How the hell are you? I hope you had a good week. We'll get into it. I think my week, this week I took some time and finished. I'll go ahead and tell the announcement. I need to change the title of this video actually to "The Album is Done." So I took a few days and just wrapped the thing up completely. I was to the point where I recorded it myself. It's 8 songs, 30 minutes of music. And the recording process was actually really quick. It was the mixing and mastering that I spent weeks and weeks and weeks just tweaking things and playing with things and trying to do the best job I could. And you reach a certain point in a music project, an album for sure, and possibly any project, where you've spent so much time on it, and especially with music, you've listened to it so many freaking times that you can't really hear it anymore, right? And this is where they say it helps to hire a mixing engineer to mix it for you and then a mastering engineer to master it for you. Probably true. But I like being totally independent. I'm 100% indie at this point. I write the songs, I record the songs, I play all the instruments, I mix the songs, I master the songs, I do the artwork for the songs. I release it myself. It's 100% independent, and I like it that way. But it doesn't always sound as good. So look, here's the deal. Album's done, man. It's done. I uploaded it to the digital streaming gods 2 days ago, and it's currently in a review and will be live. Okay, I'll say it. I wasn't going to say it because I don't know if this is going to actually happen or not. But the goal is for the new record. It's called Cowboy in the Sunshine. And it's some Southern rock country-ish songs that I wrote early this year and late last year. But I'm hoping it's going to come out. April 29th is the target date. That is my birthday. So when my birthday comes up on April 29th, I hope to be able to, for my birthday, give it to you guys. So that'll be fun. Will it be available here or on Spotify? It'll be available everywhere. YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you buy music, wherever you listen to music, it will be there. I'm also going to make it available on CD and vinyl. But I'm going to use a company that, what I don't want to do is buy 1,000 vinyls or 1,000 CDs or even 100 because I don't know if I'll sell them and get stuck with them. So I found a one-off. They do albums, vinyl albums, and CD packaging on demand. So you can order one and they'll make one and send it to you. The downside is on the vinyl, they're fairly expensive. So it's going to be more of a novelty thing. Like I'll probably get one myself just to see what it looks like and see what it feels like. But if you're into physical CDs and vinyl, I'm going to have it available on that too. That's the first thing that I've been available on that. So whether you listen on Spotify or whatever, it'll be available on TikTok, Instagram. On my previous music, I've skipped all of the TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and stuff. But this one, I'm going to put it on there and just see what it does. I'm excited. I've been working on it for a month and a half, and it's done. And it's all the way done, which is great because that means I'm not finished. I just get to start on the next project. You know, I've usually got a music project in the works, at least writing songs, or I've got all kinds of projects going. That's one way to keep from getting too down in the dumps. I know it helps me. Depression, not feeling like life is worthwhile or whatever. Anytime I get into those situations, I don't have anything going on. I don't have anything to look forward to. I don't have a project, or an album I'm finishing, or a campaign that's about to break through. I don't have a blog post that I'm excited about. I don't have anything going on. Pre-pandemic, I discovered this, and it was that whenever I had something to look forward to, I felt way better. When I didn't have something to look forward to, I felt way worse. So I made a mental note to myself, always have something to look forward to, whether that's friends coming into town to visit, pre-COVID, whether that's having dinner plans, whether that's owning some stock in the stock market and you wake up in the morning and check the prices. Speaking of, we'll get into that. I saw you guys posting about Dogecoin. Oh, man. That kind of stuff helps. Like I have shares in GameStop and AMC, and it's kept me entertained for months now. This album has kept me entertained. It keeps the darkness at bay for almost a month and a half now. And now that this is done, I'll have to get something else going. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. If you feel like crap all the time and you're depressed, ask yourself, what do I have to look forward to? If the answer is nothing, well, try to fix that. And that's what's going on in my head this morning. Beautiful to see you guys. Thanks for being here. If you're watching the video, you know the drill. Post some coffee stuff in the coffee emojis in the chat and like the video, or I will take off this hat and spank you like a real man. See what's going on in the chat. Great to be here with you guys. We're 9 minutes in. Kim is number 1, coffee, pizza, and a peace sign. Diligentius is in the house. Number 2, Sarab is here. August is here. Billy Bell is here. What's up, girl? August is here. Mickey's here. Jonatas, everybody. So they're asking. So we're talking about Dogecoin in the chat. If you don't know, Dogecoin is basically a joke cryptocurrency coin that was worthless. A few years ago, it was trading for like 0.00000000001 cents per coin, and over the years, it slowly just ticked up. And right now, a few days ago, it was 5 cents. It'd been stuck at 5 cents for a year or 6 months or something. The last time I checked, it was at like 33 cents, and I haven't checked again this morning. It could continue to be up. I don't own any. I was going to buy $1,000 worth of Doge. I signed up to Binance, the crypto buying platform, a month ago, and I got approved recently, finally, but I didn't pull the trigger. So much time had passed. It was still sitting at 5 cents. I was like, I just won't buy it. But if I would have spent that just $1,000 on that, it would now be worth $6,000 as of this morning. So let's check. Let's see if we can. What's the price of Dogecoin? What is it right now? It's now almost to 40 cents. So it'd be $8,000. So if you put in 100 grand, it'd be worth 800 grand. If you put in $1 million, you'd have, what, 8 million? I mean, it's crazy. If you put in 10,000, it'd be worth 80,000. So I didn't get in on that one, and I'm not going to buy it now. It'll probably go to $1. But the way I saw it previous to this spike, oh, it just hit 40. That's crazy. It's up 200% today. Wow. AMC's dropped, GME's dropped, but Dogecoin is going bananas. It's so funny. And there are people out there that are becoming multimillionaires today. These people that have had tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Dogecoins. They bought them when they were worth a fraction of a penny. Now they're going to be worth, anywhere from $1 million to 300 million. So people laugh at Dogecoin and all this stuff, but I'm telling you, NFTs are selling for millions of dollars. They're basically JPEGs. Dogecoin's jumped from 5 cents to 40 cents. And if you don't know about the stock market, I didn't know anything either, but that is insane. So let's say you have a life savings of $200,000. Let's say that you're ready to retire. Let's say you got $250,000 in your IRAs. Let's say you cashed all that out and you bought Dogecoin and everyone told you were crazy when it was a penny, which wasn't too long ago. So if you had $250,000 and you bought it when it was a penny, you'd have 25 million Dogecoins. Times just now at 0.40 cents, it'd be at $10 million. Your $250,000 life savings investment that you made would be worth $10 million. There is nowhere else you can do that but on a meme coin. Of course, I've replicated that situation in 2013 or 14 when I bought Bitcoin, when it was about 60 bucks a coin. Unfortunately, they went out of business. MTGOX went out of business and the bankruptcy proceedings are still going on. But everybody who lost coins from that day lost, just oceans of money. But either way, this is hilarious. Dogecoin's trading at 40 cents. And this is one of those ones, man, I don't know anything, but if I had bought at a penny and I was up millions of dollars, I would sell because this thing could crash. Or they've been saying it's going to go to $1 for years. For at least this year, I've been paying attention to it. And right now it seems, people laughed and laughed and laughed, it'll never go to $1. It's halfway, it's almost halfway there. Dogecoin is no longer pup after tripling past 50 billion, exceeding UK bank Barclays. So Dogecoin is now worth more than Barclays UK bank. I'm telling you right now, guys, crypto is the future. If you don't get it and you're young and you're going to be around in the future, you might want to pay attention. I'm ill prepared. I would have been a genius. I would have all this Bitcoin. I do own Bitcoin. And I bought at a time that I thought was high. But it's almost, the price is probably doubled since I bought it. It's hilarious, almost doubled. But crypto's the future, man. The world is changing before our eyes, man. And a lot of people don't see it. A lot of people are too confused. They're paying attention to the news, which is just ridiculous. And all these kind of distractions. They're angry at whoever, whatever. And they don't realize we're witnessing the greatest time in human history. Or maybe not the greatest time, but one of the most transformational times in human history. Everything that I grew up with is gone. If you're my age, the world that we remember is gone. I watched either a series or a movie lately that was set in the 80s. Not a good show, but I made it all the way through all the episodes because I was bored. It's called Halt and Catch Fire. And it's kind of retro. It's like, what do they call it? An era, a period piece. It's about the late 80s, early 90s and the dot-com boom. And these guys were a company who was a competitor of like Yahoo and Google and these people as they came up. And it was their kind of fictional inside story. And it was a great time, period piece. In my opinion, the writing and the acting was not great, but it was tolerable, so I finished it because I liked the topic, the dot-com boom, the first dot-com boom. Or not dot-com boom, it wasn't even about dot-coms, it was just the internet. But in that show, well, I talked about this before, they showed like Jolt Colas, they showed old rotary phones, old TVs, and old couches and cars. Everything is period. It really made me think about the 80s, and I was around mid-70s, late 70s. I wasn't old enough to retain much knowledge, but that's all gone. And it's just going to go away faster, Back then, I honestly think we're heading towards a future where there's no television, there's no news stations. I think that the news will be a thing of the past. Something will replace it, because what we have now is like zombie news. Like these news organizations that used to be trusted, maybe, but now they've all blatantly jumped the shark, and it's just propaganda left and right. And so it won't exist much longer. And it's going to be gone. YouTube could go away. Everything could go away. Money could go away. The stock market could go away. Facebook could end. Social media is actually kind of looking like it might be on its way out, because social media companies are owned by people. People are biased, so social media companies have bias. So all you have to do right now is start a social media company that has no head, which is like the whole thing that's going on now with what's it called? DeFi? Decentralized finance, cryptocurrency, these things. We may be heading towards a future where no people own companies. It's owned by the body of users or something like that. And that looks like the only way that you can keep a platform truly open. YouTube's not open anymore. Twitter's not open anymore. Facebook's not open anymore. In fact, Instagram's not open anymore. They've all come up with a kind of like speech that's acceptable, and if you break the rules, you're banned for life. If you say something that's not acceptable, even if it's true or partially true or just being speculative and thinking and being open-minded, you get banned for life. If you question the authoritative narrative, I mean, it's hilarious to watch. You can't say certain things. You can't have certain ideas. So to me, that means social media is over. And it's going to be some death. What do they call that when you're dying? There's like death kicks or death, like you spiral. What's that word? As you die, like there's some last trembles. We're living in the last trembles of everything we know. Things like everything we know now is being replaced very slowly. And then it will be very quickly and it'll be gone. I'm ranting. Jonatas in the house. Diligentia says, I'm having breakfast with the chat. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I watch streams too, and I watch YouTube videos. And YouTube's weird. Like when I eat, I like to watch YouTube videos of people eating. If I'm working out, I like to watch YouTube videos of people working out. Probably feels like some sort of a community, some sort of a friendship, type of thing. So I still like YouTube, but it's falling apart. Rufus is in the house. We have a question. Has the squirrel given birth? Yes. We have 6 babies. Now, I didn't see the babies born. I didn't see the babies when they were small. I thought she was pregnant. Then all of a sudden, 6 baby squirrels appeared one day. And they look like they've been alive. They've been around several weeks or even a month. They're not, like when a baby squirrel is born, it's this long. These are like this long with a tail. So they're still cute little mini squirrels, but they're not babies. And so at this point, I think she might have just hustled me out of nuts. I thought she was pregnant, and she might have hustled me out of nuts. So she either had babies and she's about to have more, or she already had the babies and she's still retaining the baby weight, and she's finagling me out of copious amounts of peanuts because I was taking special care of her because she was pregnant. So she got all the good walnuts and peanuts and seeds, and I brought water out there for her, and I would see her drinking the water. Now I think she hustled me. But either way, I love them. I have 6 little baby squirrels. I have another chubby female squirrel who has showed up, who may give birth. I don't know. But she may have given birth and is pregnant again. That's the other part of the conspiracy theory I have about her. Because she's still thick, boy. She's thick. Compared to a regular squirrel, she's twice the width. So she's either enjoying that baby making weight, or she's hustling me for nuts, or she's pregnant again, that little hussy. If you're under the age of 30, under the age of 40, you probably don't know the word hussy. So the squirrel, I believe, has given birth. August says 8,000. Oh, they're talking about Dogecoin. I bought 100. I wish I put more. Yeah. So your 100's worth 800 now. I mean, that's in bananas. Where else can you go and you bet $100 and you win 800? I mean, Vegas, people lose. So if you dropped 100, fantastic. Don't regret it. Be very happy. Saw a guy on Reddit who became a millionaire thanks to Dogecoin. Yeah, if you put in 100,000 on Dogecoin, 150,000 or whatever, or if you spent 10,000 when it was worth a fraction of a penny, there will be millionaires, big time millionaires made today. At 40 cents, I mean, what's a million divided by 0.01? Wow. 0.01 times. Wow. Yeah, that's just crazy. So yeah, if you're paying more attention to the news than Dogecoin, you need to get your priorities together. Because Dogecoin could have just changed your life and your family's life, but you're too busy screaming at the TV to notice. Billy Bell says, I now look forward to feeding the birds. I have several regulars that come every day. Fantastic. You know what? You can thank my mom for that. I told my mom recently, I said, hey, just so you know, I've been talking about, she changed my life by sending me those seeds. It saved me during the pandemic, and now it's something I do every day. It's a part of my life, and I love it. I've gotten to know these squirrels. Like when I open the door, they come to me. When I'm outside, if they're in the trees, I wave my hand and they all come down. Like it's life-changing when you get to know wild animals. And I get to help them, and they bring their babies around me. The babies aren't scared. I feel honored to get to, like one evening as the sun went down, me, Big Mama Squirrel, and one of the babies who's always by her side, little mama's boy or mama's girl. The sun was going down, and the baby was jumping on the mom squirrel, and I'm just sitting out there with them, tossing peanuts and putting seeds out, talking to them. And I kneel down and they come right to my face. I can look right in their eyes. And it's a little worrisome that they're going to strike me real quick. And I'm sure they're thinking the same thing about me. But it was such an honor to get to sit out there with the sun going down. And she allowed her baby to be out there with me. And she would walk away and leave him right with me. There was no fear that I was going to grab him or take him. And when I came in from that sunset, I was like, man, that was my birthday last year. So around this time last year, she sent me that bag of seeds. And if you go in my kitchen now, I have bags of seeds, like 6 bags lined up of different smorgasbords and different mixes I like to give them. And it's just changed my life way for the better. And it's very rare a birthday gift can do that. If someone sends you a sweater, you're like, well, I appreciate it. An Amazon gift card, okay, you buy a candle or whatever. But a bag of birdseed will change someone's life. And so I said, I want to thank you for that. And I also want you to know that I've been talking about it so much on YouTube and Instagram that other people are starting to buy seeds and feed the animals in their backyard. So in your own little way, you have changed the world. You are changing the world. You are going to end up helping people like me who need that connection, feeding the animals. It's really a nice thing to have in your life, animals. I understand pets now. I used to not. But there's animals across the country and potentially across the world who could end up eating that day because you sent me these seeds. And that, my friends, is how you change the world. You can post every social justice tweet and woke headline on social media that you want, and it helps nada, zero. But start feeding the animals in the backyard, and you change the world. Because those animals are going to have a better life, which means they're going to maybe mate and procreate. And there will be animals that are born that wouldn't have even been born. And then if somebody finds out that you're feeding the animals, maybe they start feeding the animals. Now this beautiful little thing starts happening in their backyard. That's how you change the world, I think anyway. You change the world by changing, like, your surroundings. And people observe you changing your surroundings, and they change theirs. That's how you do it. You're not going to change anything by commanding people to fit your narrative, or to agree with you with every thought that you have, or they're excommunicated from your life. That's how you ruin the world. That's how you destroy the planet. You want to change the world? Clean your room. Clean your house. Start there. Have a good relationship with your wife, your husband, your kids. Mow your lawn. That's how you change the world. Smile at somebody. That changes the world. But wishing death upon your enemies, maybe that'll work too. Let me know how that's working out for you. My guess is it's making you miserable. So yeah, I'm glad to hear you're feeding animals, Billy Bell. I'm telling you, it's good for the heart, and it's good for them. Halt and Catch Fire is only 4 seasons long. Might check it out. Yeah, it's good if you're interested in the topic of the early internet. Like they invent the first browser. They're talking about the first search engine, the first website, the first World Wide Web. It's like as the whole thing's coming together. The topic is great. The script, the writing and the acting to me was it was almost good, but I think the casting was all wrong, and I don't know anything. But some of the main characters just weren't believable. Like, and I'll let you be your own judge, but there were some of the main characters, and it was just off. I fast-forwarded through most of the episodes, I'll tell you that much. Just fast forward, just get me out of this scene. I don't care about this part of the narrative. Get me to this. I can't believe I finished it, actually. But that's me. Even if I hate it, I have to finish it. Death Rattle. That's what it was, Bolo. Thanks, dude. They're talking about YouTube and social media, and they're saying, yeah, it's freedom of speech as long as you agree with what we're saying and we agree with what you're saying. Otherwise, you're kicked off of social media. It's hilarious. I mean, you can be a doctor or a scientist from Harvard or some other established place like that. And if you don't go along with the narrative that of whatever it is, you get the video gets taken off YouTube. The tweets, you can't even post the stories on social media anymore. They block the stories. It's very strange. But I call it the death rattle. We're in the social media death rattle. It's over. Because right now what it's headed towards is there's going to be a left-wing social media and a right-wing. You can already see it coming. Like when I look at Gab or Parler, back when you could look at that, what I see is I see Twitter in reverse. Twitter is basically the left screaming death threats and crazy stuff at everybody, and the other stuff is like the right screaming death threats and stuff at everybody. So there's going to be 2 divided social medias, and then someone's going to come up with a decentralized center, which is where the truth usually lies. This is all BS. This is all BS. It's here. And that's what we need, is some decentralized place where you can actually talk. You can't be banned. Only in the most extreme circumstances would you be banned. But I don't know. I don't own a social media company. But my whole life, since I became a web entrepreneur or whatever you want to call it, people have pitched me their ideas like, I want to start a social network that, and I'm like, you're crazy. But now you can do it. All you would have to do is not be biased. That's all you have to do, and be decentralized. BitChute popped up. That looks pretty interesting. Congrats on the babies. You're officially a grandpa. Yes, I'm a squirrel grandpa. Christopher Lowe's in the house. Heather Rose is here. What's up, Heather? Hey, Malan D with a whole lot of exclamation points. Diligentius says Australia is killing their cats by the millions. I haven't heard of that. It doesn't sound like a story I need to read. Christopher says, where are you in the world, Christopher? Christopher Lowe, what country are you in? He said, I'd love to feed animals, but here there's something weird from where I am. It is illegal to feed wild animals, especially monkeys. Strange but true. That is strange. But I mean, if you have monkeys running around your neighborhood, that's a lot different than squirrels running around the neighborhood. If a monkey gets a hold of you, chimpanzee or something, they literally can rip your face off of your body, and have been known to do so. I'd be interested to know what country you're in. That's the great thing. Look, man, I talk all this smack or whatever, but I love YouTube. I love this kind of gathering. Because we do have people not only from around my circle of people that I know, but from around the world. So you get a little bit of insight from everyone. Like sometimes when I harp on the news, I think it's an American problem. But people in other countries are like, it's the same way here, dude. It's all propaganda. It's all being, it's all obvious now. It's good to get that insight from other countries. There's people that, only hang out with people that they agree with, and so they don't ever hear any kind of contradicting information, and they don't hear any information other than the stuff that they already agree with, so they think that they're right about everything. What's that called? There's a word for that. Being an idiot. Confirmation bias. Okay, so you're in Hong Kong. Okay, yeah, so that's probably a different setup. I think it's illegal to do a lot of stuff in Hong Kong. So interesting, in Hong Kong, it's illegal to feed the animals, especially the monkeys. So there's a little insight from Hong Kong, guys. Well, there's an interesting something to ask someone in Hong Kong. What's COVID like there right now? What are the restrictions like in Hong Kong? Are there forced vaccinations, like vaccine passport type talk? Are things open and running again? Like businesses, do you have to wear a mask inside? I'd be real curious to know what's going on because I've never been to Hong Kong. They say that if you feed wild animals, they stop fearing humans and they might cause unwanted incidents. Yeah, there's a lot of downsides to feeding animals. Like I worry that they've become so dependent on me that and it's not an if, it's a when I leave here, or if I just stop feeding them, would they remember how to survive, especially the babies? But it's hard to turn down a squirrel that's standing on his or her back legs with their paws like this, standing in your window. And I mean, she'll stand there and look directly at me for full minutes, like minute after minute, and I'll finally go, all right, and I go, drop her a couple peanuts, and she knocks on the doors. It's hilarious. Yeah, but it could also make them not scared of humans, and a human kill it, or it attacks a human because a human didn't give them a peanut. But yeah, man, so that's what's going on this week. Album's done. I'm still running campaigns as always. Been trying some different ways to get this one campaign to work. It's driving me nuts. I've been doing a test at different bid prices, bidding very low, just a trickle of traffic, and checking the net profit at the end of the day over a couple of days. Bidding medium, checking the net profit, and bidding high and checking the net profit. Just split testing everything. And it's one of those frustrating campaigns where at a small spend, if it converts, it makes tremendous ROI, but there's hardly any traffic, so it's not consistent. You know, if you're spending a smaller amount of money, any sales you get are accidental. Now, if you're spending huge amounts of money, it becomes more predictable. But this damn offer, it's not consistent. But when it's on, it's on. So I try to keep my eye on the long view of the results. So yesterday was terrible on this offer. But if I go the past 3 days, it's fine. You know, it had a good day, or it had a decent day, a great day, and then a terrible day. And so yesterday I was ready to throw my laptop off of a building. But then I ran the numbers for the last 3 days. It's like, okay, it's not too bad. What's up, Adam? He says, hey, sounds like the squirrels trained you. Yeah, they did. They've figured me out. All they have to do is stand on their back legs and put their paws like this, and I'm done. I even had one day where I thought, I'm not feeding them today. I'm not going to put anything out there so that at least they understand that they need to know how to fend for themselves. And she showed up with a bone. That she found a carcass somewhere, drug a bone up to the house, and was gnawing on the marrow inside the bone, like with this horrifying scraping sound. It made me realize, like, oh yeah, they don't have like food storage in a refrigerator. If I don't feed them right now, if they don't have food stashed in the ground or wherever, it's go out and find a bone, you know, and gnaw some bone marrow out of that. And I envision her having to feed her babies milk and everything, and has nothing inside of her to give them. So my brain's like, just go hand her a handful of sunflower seeds and walnuts. Added some different things to my website this week as well. Added a contact page. I haven't had one of those in ages. So if you want to send me a message, go to malandarras.com/howdy, I think is what it was. And I added a button to the bottom navigation that says say howdy. I'm going to have a contact form for a while. Now, I turned it off back in the day because I was getting contacted by all kinds of companies that wanted me to promote their products on my blog, and I just shut it down. I just turned it off because it was all nonsense. And I was getting spam. Which brings me to, I also switched up my comments on the blog. I dropped Discuss, which is a commenting plugin, and I went straight with just WordPress comments. I'm going to try that again because Discuss is just ugly. The comment box is just ugly. Works pretty well, and it does a good job of filtering out spam, but it's just horrific looking. Like, my site's very minimal, and then you scroll down to the bottom of the page and there's this gigantic ugly comment box. I just didn't like the aesthetics. So I made WordPress comments the default again. So if you want to comment on any article, that's there now. And at the bottom, at the footer of every post, I added a little author bio with links to my social media, Mad Society, and stuff like that. Newsletter sign up. Just doing some testing. I'm trying to get back in the rhythm of regularly blogging, because that's what started everything. Let's see. Christopher is in Hong Kong. He says, here's what's going on with COVID. Face mask is mandatory. Life is normal. Lots of traditional businesses have succumbed. It's unfortunate, though. Vaccination is open to all, everybody over 16 at the moment. It's just that the take-up rates are miserably low because most are afraid. I've done mine, and I can't wait for things to be normal again. That's good to know. Yeah, in California, face masks are mandatory. Lots of businesses have closed, same thing. Vaccinations are open to everyone over 16, but not everyone's getting them. I haven't gotten one yet. Not because I think that they're fake or they're implanting nanobots or whatever. I just haven't gone to get one yet. I'm not real interested in waiting a long time and going to a place where there's a whole line of people who are waiting to get vaccines. Some friends of mine got it just a few days ago, said it was pretty smooth, but I'm going to wait a little while longer. But that is interesting because it sounds like what's going on in Hong Kong is very similar to what's going on here, in California anyway. I don't know what's going on in other states. Saurabh is in India. He says, here in India, cases are increasing rapidly. Hey, Saurabh, what's India look like? What are the restrictions, rules, and vaccination stuff happening there? Watch this video get kicked off of YouTube because we're talking about it. We should just, it's funny you can't even talk about it. I'm just curious. But my God, if anyone disagrees with anything that's said in any part of the video, they just take it down and you're eliminated. But I'd be interested to hear what the restrictions are like in India. That's kind of cool. That'd be interesting to know too. But my God, we're all in this together. So I hope everybody's hanging on tight. But yeah, just chilling. Let's see, what's Dogecoin doing? 39 cents. Looks like it's going to stick at 40 for a little while. Who knows? I try not to think about it too much. That's one of those things like when you have the right idea, but you don't pull the trigger, then you think like, man, if I just pulled the trigger, now I'll buy at 40, and then it immediately drops back down to 5, and let's say you spent $1,000 is worth $50. But that's one of those things that goes against human instinct. People this is something that freaked me out when I was learning about investing. Warren Buffett talked about how common sense, or quote unquote logic or whatever, we have it wrong. Most humans are programmed wrong. They see a stock shooting up, they want to buy it because it's growing and growing. They're going to buy it on the way up. And then if it starts to crash, they want to sell and get out of it. He said that is the only way to go broke, buying and selling stocks, is if you buy when it's going up and sell when it's going down. That's how to guarantee that you'll never make any money. And so the counterintuitive thing is you buy it when it's crashing. Then you sell it as it's going up, which it's logical if you think about it, but most of us aren't programmed to think that way. You have to kind of reverse your mind. So let's say you had a retirement account or a stock account or something, and the market starts to crash and you sell it all. Well, you've just locked in a gigantic loss, and you're one of the people who you lose. But if the market starts to crash and you start buying more, when it recovers, you make all your money back and it goes up. It's counterintuitive, kind of, not counterintuitive, but yeah, counterintuitive. Goes against quote unquote common sense, but common sense isn't common anymore. Here's an update about India. Currently here, people above 45 are the only people that get vaccinated. Population is huge, so it's almost impossible to vaccinate everyone. Yeah. What a mess. And it just seems to get weirder all the time. I was hoping 2021 would be pretty calm, but now it's like Russia is preparing nuclear war, and Biden's getting involved, and it's like, wait, what? We're gonna go to war with Russia? Oh, hello 2021. Adam says, I'm holding 10x return on Doge already. That's good, man. So you got in at like 4 cents. That's about where I was going to get in. I saw it hit 3 one day, and I thought about it. I saw it hit 4 one day, but it was settling around 5. But I just didn't pull the trigger. But I do like when I call something like that, even if you don't pull the trigger, you see the price go up big and you go, okay, I was right. My feeling was right, like my intuition was right. I usually pull the trigger, like it's hilarious that I didn't. But in 2013, 2014, I had a hunch about Bitcoin. I thought maybe it was too late, but I figured this is a pretty good time. Now that coins are like $60, might be too late. Now they're worth 65,000. August says, the second shot was delayed in my country because they don't have enough vaccines. They want to cover more people with the first one first, and it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's weird. Diligentia says, hopefully we get rid of this virus in less than 5 years. God, I hope so. That's crazy to even think. Remember when it was 2 weeks to stop the spread or whatever? Like 15 days to stop the spread? That was a year and a month ago. Hey, but at least it's not the Black Plague. Like everybody thought it was going to wipe out half the Earth's population. It was going to travel through the air and we were all there was no future. And I used to wear a mask just taking out the trash. But now we know that was all hyper inflated worry, which I guess it's good to over worry in the beginning. Billy Bell, just got my second vaccination this week here in Washington State. Cool. I was reading about the Pfizer vaccine today or yesterday, and it said you get the first shot, you get the second shot, you have to come and get another one after 12 months, and then you have to get another one every year to be fully protected. Which made me think like, I don't get a flu vaccine. I never have. I never even thought about it. If I get the flu, I get the flu. Now I'd rather get the flu than COVID. But I've never gotten a flu shot since I was a little kid. Not recommending it, just saying. But I live a pretty healthy life these days. And I get a flu once every many years. Rob says, I don't know, who knows, maybe it's here to stay. It might be. Like the flu comes every year. Different strains, different types. But boy, one great thing about humans is we do one thing really well. We adapt. And we adapt quickly. That's how we're still alive. That's how we've survived. We are 49 minutes into today's video, and it looks like you guys are sleeping on the like button. If you're watching the video, give it a like real quick. Tony says, I would rather take my chances and not get the shot. Who knows what it is? I get it. It's a weird thing. Very strange world we live in these days, man. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it is not 1985 anymore. Or 1984. It's getting closer to that. There's a song. Nicole Otero says, are you working on new music? Well, I just finished some new music, a whole album. It's called Cowboy in the Sunshine. And it should be It's crazy. I mean, that's what I was going to talk about today on the stream, but I always get sidetracked. We start talking about what you guys are talking about. But that was today's announcement. The album's done. It'll be available hopefully April 29th, which is my birthday. So if you want to give me some birthday love on April 29th, stream, download, buy, share, whatever the song, the album, there's 8 songs, and that can be my birthday present. Share it with your friends, stream it, buy it, download it, put it on your phone, listen to it, come back and let me know what you think. Maybe we'll do a album release stream. Billy Bell says, I listen to your Cry Pretty song often. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones I ever did. Really just based in the blues. Tony Roberts says, did you go to a studio to record it? I did it at my own studio. So it's not going to sound like Justin Bieber, crystal quality, but I like doing my own stuff. I've never liked going in the studio. I've had a few fun studio experiences, but half the time you spend the money and spend all the time and you re-sing everything 40 times and it's this big deal, and then the product is worse than your demo. Like I did an album in some of the best studios in Los Angeles, the highest end places you can go, platinum albums of every band you've wanted to be on. And we had a great song that we were doing. And the end product was kind of shockingly not great. It was not mixed well. It was overcompressed. It was very strange. And this was the top of the top. Now, we weren't working with a major producer. We had an engineer, but not like a major producer. But we had an engineer that worked in these giant studios. And it turned out okay, but it was something like when I A-B'd it with our original 4-track demo, or whatever we recorded it on, just home studio, passing it back and forth, the vibe of the demo was way better. So for me, when I go to a studio, when you go to a studio, when anybody goes to a studio, your performance changes from what it would be if you were at home, especially a guy like me. When I'm in a studio, it's all eyes on you. I'm in a full-on panic. And so when I record, if I'm playing a guitar or if I'm singing, it's a different kind of performance than it would be if I was on my own. And in fact, I'd say most of the songs that I've put out recently, over the last few years, wouldn't have even occurred if I had to go in a studio. They wouldn't have even happened. Because some of them were built by accident, just by me feeling free in my home studio. So my goal is to never go to a major recording studio again or deal with anyone. I'd love to be able to do it on my own and have it sound really good. Now, the way you get there is you continuously do it, and it sounds bad. It sounds horrific when I first started recording myself 15, 18 years ago. I mean, I've been recording myself since I was 12 or 13 with tape recorders. But then I did it in Dallas when I was a teenager on a karaoke machine that had dual tape cassettes. I would do my own songs in there. And in my opinion, they're some of the best songs I ever did. They never saw the light of day, but they were some of my favorite stuff I ever did. And then I got a computer and found out you could buy a sound card with a 1/4-inch jack where you could plug a cable in, and I started making horrific albums at my house in Tulsa 20 years ago. 15, I don't know. 14 or 15 probably, yeah. And they were started off sounding terrible. I didn't even know how to do a drum beat or anything. I beatboxed, and I don't even know how to beatbox. It was awful. And then the next one was a little better, and they just get better and better and better. And over time, if I stick to it consistently, like anything else, that muscle gets stronger. I'll add a piece of gear that'll make a big difference. I'll learn an editing trick that'll make things sound better. My mastering skills have gotten way better over the years. But man, I mean, when I listen to an album like Beck's Morning Phase, and I A-B it with mine, which is what I do, to check how mine sounds compared to his, it's like, I should have gone to the studio. But again, I'm an independent person, man. I work for myself with no employees. I write, record, perform, mix, master, release all my own stuff. I cut my own hair. I mean, I make my own clothing, print my own slogans on them and buy them and wear them myself. I like being an independent person more than I like having a crystal clear sounding album. And I'll tell you this, a lot of my favorite recordings are terrible recordings. Like Elliott Smith's first record, solo record that he did himself in a basement on a 4-track is my favorite album of his. Bruce Springsteen did one of his albums on a 4-track in his office, and they couldn't recreate the vibe in the studio, so he forced the record labels to release his homemade cassette tape. They had to invent a way to master cassette tapes, and they had to use like 3 different mastering studios to get the volume up enough to where it could be released on radio and stuff. And it's one of his best albums. I forget the name of it. But it's usually in the top 5 when his albums are ranked. It's just a little homemade thing he did. All of my favorite blues musicians from the 20s and 30s, their records sound terrible. And I think the most important, this is something a producer on YouTube taught me. I think it was House of Kush. He said something one day that blew my mind. He said, everybody wants to know, like, how do you get this vocal sound to be crystal clear? Or how do you get, what kind of guitar mic should I use? He said, all of that's not important. He said, the most important thing is that if the song, when you're mixing it, does it catch a vibe? Does the song have a vibe? Do people in the room or do you yourself like dance around when you listen to it? If that happens, it doesn't matter how much EQ you put on the acoustic guitar versus on the snare. It doesn't even matter. If you put the song on and people start moving, or you start tapping your foot, mission accomplished. Anything you do with the mix is irrelevant at that point other than enhancing the vibe. And that really set me up, and this is what always happens. In the middle of recording an album, you hear something like that and you go, that's right, so I'm going to scrap everything I'm doing. I'm just going to start creating vibes. But then you go, wait a minute, I'm 90% of the way done here. Let me just finish. Or you'll be that guy who's never, working on an album for like 10 years. It's not quite there. Who was it? Axl Rose did, what was it called? Chinese Democracy for like a decade. I think it's still to this day the most expensive album ever recorded. It cost millions of dollars. It took him over a decade to put it out. That's what you don't want to be. That's what I don't want to be. I'm happy about this. Can we pre-save it? I know Spotify has that option sometimes. You will be able to pre-save it, but it's not to that point yet. I uploaded it. What you do is when you release your own music, or if you have a record label, you basically use, I have a deal with the distributor, and you release it to everything and you choose your options you want. Pre-save is something that I chose. And then they have to review the record to make sure that the titles are correct, the artwork's up to speed, that the album is okay, that the songs are actually in the correct order, that they don't have a bunch of other people's music on it, the copyrighted stuff, or whatever they do on the back end. It's with the digital elves right now. But as soon as it's to that state, you will be able to pre-save it, pre-order it, pre-whatever it. And I'll have links set up probably next week for that. And then hopefully in 13 days, you'll have a half an hour of music to listen to. And the cool thing about this is, you guys know me pretty well who have been tuning in all the time. You're now going to get to hear what I've been obsessively listening to for the last month and a half, just on repeat. And every night I'm on edibles listening to it on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. And it's been going on for a month and a half. So now that I'm sick of it, I release it. I'll probably won't listen to it again for a long time, but you can finally hear what I've been listening to for my own enjoyment for the past month and a half. Have you been enjoying the production aspect? Yeah, I enjoy the production aspect as much or more than the songwriting and performing aspect. I love it. I love all areas. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I want to keep doing it myself too. I don't want to be a guy that just shows up with an acoustic guitar and a voice and sings and plays some songs and then someone sends me a finished album. I kind of like to have my hands in every part of it. And that's a producer's nightmare. Because a guy like me comes in and goes, well, I think we should do this. What a producer needs is for you to play your song and be quiet and listen to instructions. That's what they want. Seriously. Especially back in the day. Like an artist was looked at as a buffoon. You were just a useless tool. You could be replaced by anyone. And the producers in big studios, the producers wore lab coats and to make them look like doctors, to kind of give them an air of authority. some of the old albums, you'll hear people talk about it, and they say, yeah, they were literally wearing lab coats. They treated us like imbeciles. And it was like, play the song now, boy. And then, and this is, crazy. And the musicians were made to feel terrible. And they're wearing lab coats, man, because they thought of producers as like scientists and, whatever, these magic people. But I really enjoy it. I've always enjoyed it. Like I said, I started recording my own music when I was 10 to 12 years old. And back then in our house, my mom had 2 tape players, cassette tape players. And I figured out you could put a tape in, press record, and play your song and sing. Well, I'm going to record my song. I'm going to record my song. And you do that, and then you could take that tape, rewind it, play it, have another tape here, press record and play there, and this would play your song, and you'd go, well, I'm trying to record my song. You could do a harmony. I'm trying to record my song. And all of a sudden, now on this tape, you had vocal harmonies. And so I go back and forth until the quality had degraded so badly that it was just one big giant hiss. But I was recording my own stuff as early as 12 or so years old. And now that the gear, the equipment, and the technology has advanced to a point to where you can have, like I actually recently heard a demo that a band that I was in when I was late teens, that we did it in a studio. It was an analog studio, and it sounds 1,000 times worse than what I can do at my house now. So if nothing else, at my home studio, I can get better recordings than real studios could get 20 years ago. And I hardly know what I'm doing. But that's my inner dream with music these days. I don't really care how many downloads or listens or streams I get. I'm not necessarily keen on the idea of going on tour. I just want to be able to get these things out of me and create these little music puzzles, these little creative things, and be able to release them myself worldwide to anybody who wants to hear them, whether that's 2 people or 2 billion people, it does not matter. I just want to be able to do it and present it in a way that's listenable and unique. And that way, if I get hit by a truck tomorrow, I've left something behind for people to remember me by. That's all. That's literally where I'm at with music these days. Just completely divorced from the results. And newsflash, I wish I would have done that a lot sooner. Because you want to ruin a music career, get focused and obsessed on the results. Whether I'm either going to be super famous or I'm going to kill myself, or whatever. Or if this band doesn't have a major record deal in 3 years, I'm going to quit. It's basically like start a band, or even not a band, start your own thing under your own name, the Malan Darras Band. Start that when you're as young as possible and do that for your whole life, regardless of what happens. And the more you learn about the music world and life, you realize that the spotlight of fame shines on people very briefly. So you're out there doing your thing regardless of results. And at some point, maybe that spotlight comes on you for a minute. Could be a month, could be a year, could be 5 years, but then it kind of moves on to whatever's next. And you get to keep continuing doing your thing, because if you're divorced from the results, it doesn't matter. And if you have some time in the sun, if that spotlight does shine on you for a moment, the rest of your career will also be enhanced because more people know who you are. So you may go from playing clubs to theaters to sold out stadiums all over the world, back down to theaters, and then back down to sold out clubs for the rest of your life. You can sell 500 tickets anywhere in the world, and that's fine. But it's fun. Probably some life advice in there if I wanted to really dig in. Whatever you do it because you believe in it and you love it, and divorce yourself from the results. And just you're going to do it one way or the other. It's a compulsion that you have, something you don't have to try to do. Then if a result shows up at some point, cool. A little extra money in the bank. All right, great. My shows got a little bigger. Oh, it's going away. Now less money in the bank and my shows are getting smaller. Well, that was fun. I wonder what will happen next. August said, I listened to Nothing Left Behind, and that is a beautiful masterpiece. Yeah, those are some of my early self-recordings, and if you listen real close to those, you can hear the click track going tuk, 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 because I didn't know to turn the headphone volume down enough. So when I sang the song, I'm listening to it with a click track, and it shows up in the music. So those are all things that I've fixed. And I want to re-record Nothing Left Behind, and there's another one called I Love the Way We Fight. If you haven't heard that one, that's one of my favorite songs I've ever done, but the recording was very quickly done in the apartment in Hollywood. And again, you can hear the click track, and I didn't really know what I was doing at all. So when I listen back to those, I'm like, yeah, that's a good song, but boy, this is a good representation of how much I've improved as a producer. Because at least, if nothing else, I know that I've learned to not have the click track show up in the audio. August says, yeah, I heard that, and I thought there was something wrong with my car. Yeah, totally. So that's listening to the progress of a guy who's learning to record himself. But that's one of my favorite songs I've ever done. Christopher Lowe says, tapes, man. I got my first Walkman in 1993, and if you guys had one back then, you probably remember the tapes getting entangled. Oh, for sure. And you could fix them. We would take a butter knife and you could kind of unscrew them and you could take the tape case apart and fix the tape. That happened a lot of times. That's what sucked about physical media, especially those tapes, is you'd buy the tape, you know, whatever it was, whatever cassette you bought. Judas Priest, Boy George, George Michael, Michael Jackson. You know, you spend your hard-earned money and then you put it in your tape player and it would just eat the tape and shred it, and it's broken. You know, with an MP3, you can't break it. Even if you lose it, you can just re-sign up for the account, log in again, and it's there. All right, guys, I think we've filled an hour. We're an hour and 8 minutes in. Time to go. It's been great catching up with you here on the Morning Coffee family. Like I said, I got a new record coming out on April 29th. You should be able to pre-save it, pre-order it, pre-buy it, pre-stick it, pre-shove it, whatever it is, in the very near future. I'll post links next week. It's called Cowboy in the Sunshine. It's going to be available everywhere, and also on vinyl and CD. Speaking of old media, I believe the vinyl is going to be extremely expensive, though, because they're only making one at a time. Either way, I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I hope Dogecoin goes to $400 a coin and everybody gets rich and retires early so we can just hang out on Morning Coffee every day. Keep your head up. Keep fighting. And keep working. And whatever you're working on will happen. That easy. That kind of turned into a country thing. All right, Bolo, I see a cowboy hat, a sunshine, and a peace sign, and that means it's time to go. I'm out of coffee, but we're going to do a fake coffee cheers anyway. Coffee cheers to everybody. Oh, there's a little bit left in there, if you can see it. Just a little. Just enough for a coffee cheers. Have a beautiful weekend. Take care of your birds and squirrels. Do whatever the hell you want to do. Turn off the news. Enjoy your life. Nicole, nice to see you. I haven't seen you on Morning Coffee before, or in a while maybe. Thanks for stopping by. And all you regulars, fantastic to see you. From China, Hong Kong, India, UK, Australia. We got people from everywhere. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment on the comment box, or I will come to your house and break your dishes. Have a beautiful day. My name is Malan. I'm your friend. We're all a little strange, but we're making it. And as always, I will see you in the future. And scene. Later, y'all.